Fani Willis freaks out, sends an emergency motion. She has been subpoenaed to show up and testify in Nathan Wade's divorce for a deposition, and Fani does not want to do that. Now, we already know Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor, had his entire divorce sealed. He doesn't want anybody looking into it, but we've got a lot of activity in this case. So as Jocelyn, the loving wife of Nathan, has to survive this divorce, she has submitted a new response because Fani is now trying to get out of the deposition. An emergency motion was sent. Joycelyn Wade responded, and we're going to hear from this person called Unwind with Tasha K, another YouTuber, some reaction to this whole saga, and it's getting wild. But let's dive into this because Fani is saying, I don't have to show up. I don't have to be there to appear to be deposed. And this is coming from Fani's office. Let's take a look at who signed off on this puppy. Right here, attorney for the non-party deponent, Sync Axum. And this is the subpoena. So this is what Fani ultimately got. Signed by this judge. And it says here, Fani, Miss Fani Willis, you have to get your booty right over to court to testify. You are commanded, laying all business aside, to appear at this date and time, January 23rd, 2024 at 10 a.m. at this law firm to show up in our conference room and be deposed. Signed by the judge and delivered. And Fani is saying, uh-oh, I definitely do not want to be a part of this. And so she responded. Now comes now, Fani Willis, Nathan Wade's alleged paramour. She's a non-party deponent, and she says that she's moving this court for a protective order. She wants to quash the subpoena and get a protective order over her so she doesn't have to participate. Why? Because the very loving Joycelyn Wade, who is married to Nathan for over 20 years, raised their kids, sounds like a stay-at-home mom, she's getting divorced now because Fani wrecked their home along with Nathan. He's very responsible for this, to conduct a deposition of Willis on January 23rd, which we can't wait to see what happens. And so they say, now we're arguing against this. Now Fani, she is going to come out swinging. Don't you know who I am? Fani Willis is the elected DA of Atlanta Judicial Circuit, like Fulton County. She was elected back in January 2021. And now this county, they executed a contract with Nathan Wade, which is the legal entity that employs Nathan Wade, his professional corporation. We executed the contract, and the contract began November 2021. The day after he got the contract, he filed for divorce. Now, as part of the contract, Nathan Wade was a special prosecutor prosecuting Trump. On January 8th this year, Jocelyn Wade, the ex-wife, through her attorney Andrea, they tried to serve Fani with the notice of a deposition. They went to her office, and Fani was hiding around in the office somewhere. They gave it to her assistant. Jocelyn Wade is the wife of Nathan, who is the special prosecutor Nathan Wade, her ex-wife. He's the ex-husband. Now, the subpoena was presented to an employee at Fani's office. Then Michael Roman, through his lawyer, filed a motion to unseal this, along with a very explosive motion about Fani and Nathan. Now, additionally, the same date that Roman filed that whopper of a motion, he also filed the disqualification. So he filed in both cases the same date, right? And they're saying this feels like it's a hit job. So Michael Roman filed through Ashley Merchant 2 motions, one to unseal the divorce case and one to disqualify Fani and Wade, saying there was a conflict. So here's what Fani says, saying a protective order should issue and the subpoena should be quashed. Why? Well, protective orders, they say, are very important for high-ranking members of governmental bodies. And you know Fani, the biggest Fani in Fulton County, there's no serious dispute that Miss Willis is an officer as defined by this. And so she is high-ranking, obviously. This is the don't you know who I am section. More importantly, Willis lacks unique personal knowledge, yeah, right, of any matter that is related to the subject matter involved in the pending action. Give me a break. Fani was getting Willised by Wade all over the place. Okay, she's got a lot of personal unique knowledge. Gross. Now, indeed, the deposition of District Attorney Fani Willis, they say she can't give you any personal knowledge about Wade's divorce because plaintiff filed for divorce on November 2nd, right? The day after they got the contract. So she says we executed the contract. Did she notice that little connection there? Yeah, the contract commenced in November 2021. Notice how they didn't put the date here? What date was that? Commenced in November. They left out the date intentionally. Commenced on November 1, 2021, right? The next day, oops, oops, November 2nd, he files for a divorce. Ooh, man, I love this new gig. This Trump money's good. He said, weird, I've got this brand new contract and suddenly my marriage is irretrievably broken because there's a new Fani in town. The defendant, Jocelyn, answered and she agreed the marriage was irretrievably broken. And so presumably at the time, she didn't know about that dude's contract. So examination of the docket reveals that for the prior 26 months to attempting to serve this woman, Fani, the parties have not amended their pleadings. Oh gosh. And they just maintain that it's irretrievably broken. So there's no allegations of infidelity or anything else. So it's already well established. This case is over, Judge. I mean, look, it's been going on for a long time, 26 months. It's been going on and on and on. So we don't need to unseal this, okay? They've already both decided, both parties already agree it's irretrievably broken. And so that's a legal conclusion signifying there's no hope for reconciliation. And so there's no genuine issue of fact to even remain to talk about. So you don't need to talk about to Fani, because if you talk to her, what are you going to talk about? Money, infidelity, different things that break down. But since they both already agreed 26 months ago that it was already irretrievably broken, we don't need to get back into it. And they give us some cases here. They say, on information and belief, says this attorney for Fani, Nathan and Jocelyn, they do not live together, and Jocelyn has lived outside of the state of Georgia and separate from them since 2021. Thus, there is no prospect of reconciliation or genuine issues of material fact that need resolution. Joycelyn Wade is not alleged otherwise. In fact, Jocelyn has not made any specific request for any information from Attorney Willis at all. If, however, media reports are any indication, Jocelyn may intend to ask questions about the nature of any relationship between Fani and Nathan. Now, because the parties agree the marriage is already irretrievably broken and the concept of fault is not at issue, there's no information that Willis could possibly provide that would either grant or deny the divorce. It's not relevant. Thus, any information from Fani would be irrelevant. Now, as a result, the sought-after deposition, dragging Fani in there, is outside the scope of the pending divorce action. It's outside the scope of discovery, saying Jocelyn is using discovery as a vehicle, wow, to harass Willis. Scorned ex-wife is harassing the DA, says Fani. So in other words, Fani wrecks the home, hires her mentor, so-called, gets Waded and Willis all up and down the Caribbean, or wherever they were, on cruises with the Royal Caribbean, pays him $1 million. He leaves his wife the day after he signs the contract, presumably doesn't tell her anything about any of this stuff, makes $1 million while he's still technically married, hides all the money or whatever he's gonna do, takes her on these cruises and stuff, and then Fani says, how dare you harass me by wanting to know what happened? Nice. That's Fani. Now, the sought-after deposition of Willis is not relevant to this divorce at all. And so for these reasons, we need a protective order, saying there's no basis for this at all. They already agreed that their marriage was irretrievably broken. And here, prior to Wade ever meeting Willis, wait a minute, as early as 2017, prior to Wade ever even meeting Willis, the parties to the above-style divorce, they already agreed that their marriage was irretrievably broken after Jocelyn. Oh, Jocelyn, oh no! Jocelyn confessed to an adulterous relationship with Nathan's longtime friend. The tables are turning. They're both getting fannied. Oh gosh. What's going on over there? So now they're throwing her name in it, right? Oh, she cheated on him. So Jocelyn's adultery precluded any chance of reconciliation. So now Nathan's the victim. Nathan's wife was cheating on him, and so he fell into the arms of Big Fani. Oh no! As they're gonna go and prosecute Trump and save America together. So to protect the interest of both parties, plaintiff Nathan and Jocelyn, they agreed to seal their records in their divorce case. Now, however, the parties delayed the filing for the benefit of their children. So back in 2017, they were both making, or at least she was making bang bang with other dudes. Apparently his friend, his longtime friend. What's going on over there? Who are these people? Gosh. So then they said, well, we're going to wait from 2017. We're going to wait 4 years. We'll file for divorce in 2021. This dude conveniently just does it the day after he signs a fat contract with his new Fani. Man, I don't know what kind of household this is, but it's a mess. Specifically to allow the children to reach the age of majority. So here, Joycelyn Wade has not objected to Michael Roman's motion to unseal and the proceedings despite having previously sought it and having benefited from this protection. Now she wants to unseal it. On further information, they say the subpoena for the deposition of Willis is being sought, in an attempt to harass and to damage her professional reputation. It's also being sought in an unreasonable manner to annoy, embarrass, or oppress the deponent. And on further information and belief, Joycelyn Wade has also conspired with interested parties in the criminal election interference case to use civil discovery process to annoy, to embarrass, and to oppress Attorney Willis. In support of this contention, they're going to give us the following. Wow. Okay, so Fani, the Fulton County DA, is now almost threatening criminal charges that Jocelyn is conspiring for, defending herself in this case. By the way, we don't know her story yet. We haven't heard from her at all. Maybe Nathan was cheating on her first. We don't know. So they say Jocelyn has conspired. I guess maybe she should be indicted. She's probably an insurrectionist now, to use discovery to harass and to oppress Willis. Now, in support of this, they say a defective subpoena for the deposition of Fani was conspicuously coordinated with the election interference case. She got served and the motion to dismiss got filed. That's called law, Fani. That's called litigation. It's not a conspiracy, weirdo. Specifically, criminal defendant Michael Roman filed a motion to unseal the divorce records the same day that Jocelyn tried to depose Fani. Yeah, they're tag teaming, man. Yeah, they're coming at you hot. Now, that's what you get. Yeah. Now, prior to attempted service of the subpoena, Wade and Jocelyn filed a consent motion to seal. That was back in 2022. It was only after Jocelyn sought to subpoena Fani because she learned about the millions of dollars like all of us. It's like, yeah, well, she's just acting recently. It's like, hello, we all just learned this dude got paid $1 million from Fani's coffers. Until then, it was uncontested. It was no fault. They'd already been separated for 2 years. Now it suggests that she's conspiring to use the legal process to embarrass Fani and to interfere with ongoing criminal that's a crime, okay? They're threatening her. So on information and belief, they say because the parties, because they have no minor children, they're all grown up, and because they each contend the marriage is irretrievably broken, the only potential issue may be relevant to Wade's current employment would be the salary and the division of marital property. But even this is not an issue that's in dispute. Even if it were, Jocelyn Wade has acknowledged through lawyers all financial documents she received. Custodian of records also gave Jocelyn Wade all the documents related to Wade's compensation. And so as a result, she's released from deposition. The deputy of operations from Fulton County and Jocelyn Wade has not identified any other relevant basis for interviewing and deposing Fani, saying, if you do make Fani be deposed, it's going to be overly burdensome. You only gave us 15 days to comply, and the notice is too overbroad. By the way, Fani doesn't know how broad this is going to be. We don't know if it's recorded, written, transcribed, or whatever. We don't know what information is being sought, so it's way too overbroad, and it's not specific enough, and so therefore, we need a protective order to protect Big Fani. This court, they're asking, grant a protective order, quash the subpoena so she doesn't have to show up. They want Fani, she wants to be awarded attorney's fees. Oh my goodness. Why? So she could take Nathan on another cruise? And they also want, in the alternative, that Fani be given 180 days to review the filing. So in other words, don't let her be deposed soon. Let her be deposed 6 months from now. And then lastly, barring a protective order, they should say, if you do make her come and be deposed, make them provide a scope of the information that they sought, the method of the deposition that they want to perform, and how this information comes out. Signed by Cinque Axam, an attorney for, I don't know what entity, but representing Fani's office. So man, they really threw Jocelyn under the bus there, didn't they? Well, Jocelyn has a response to this. Let's see what it looks like. Jocelyn Wade, ex-wife of Nathan Wade, special prosecutor to Big Fani Willis, filed the response to Fani's emergency motion, saying, this is Jocelyn Wade here, and we're responding to Fani. They say non-party Fani, she seeks this court's intervention. She wants a protective order because she does not want to be deposed. Now, the arguments asserted by Miss Willis, first of all, they're disingenuous, they're specious, and her claimed basis for the same fails as a matter of law. Jocelyn's team says, upon information and belief, Miss Willis has information and knowledge directly relevant to the alleged conduct of Nathan that would be considered by the court as equitable division of marital estate, dissipation of marital assets, and spousal support. And further, Miss Willis's implied threat to pursue charges against Jocelyn Wade and her counsel based on inconvenient facts from her personal life that are directly relevant to the divorce proceedings is an affront to the integrity of her office. That's what they do. This is why it's dangerous to prosecute or to challenge these people. They go mental and they'll use this stuff, right? If these people weren't lawyers and this wasn't a national case, you don't know what would happen to these lawyers. They may not even bring it up if there wasn't coverage on this. Now, Jocelyn's wife, Jocelyn continues as the ex-wife. Now, contrary to the assertions in her motion, Miss Willis Fani, her prevarications regarding Jocelyn's conduct in her marriage seems to demonstrate that Miss Willis does, in fact, possess intimate information about the Wade's marriage. Oh, albeit false and libelous misinformation. That's what we're talking about, baby. cheating? Shout out to Jocelyn. She says I never did that, and it's libelous. I'm not a cheater, and that's a great point, isn't it? Wow, that's curious. Fani, how do you know about Jocelyn? What do you know so much about Jocelyn's infidelity for? And this could be interesting. Now, we haven't read any of this yet, but what if Wade was making that up to tell Willis? He's like, no, baby, our marriage is broken. We're not even talking anymore. She cheated on me with my best friend. Never happened, because he's trying to tag team the Fanis, you know? Scandalous. Anyways, now they say here, Jocelyn says Nathan Wade was appointed as a, sorry, all this scandal, you know, it's hard for me to make do with what's going on here. Nathan Wade was appointed as a special prosecutor by Fani on November 1st. Then Nathan filed for divorce the next day. Jocelyn was served by a process server on November 3rd. Brutal. So before Jocelyn even filed her answer and counterclaim, Nathan filed a motion asking the court to seal the record in this action. Boom, boom, boom. She didn't even respond to this, and Nathan was already covering it up because he knew he was in some deep Fani. Now, Nathan did not reveal to Jocelyn his appointment by Miss Willis or the substantial income that he's been receiving throughout this divorce case as a result of that appointment. And Jocelyn did not discover the same until much later in the proceedings. Now, Nathan also left Jocelyn with very little means of financial support while simultaneously spending tens of thousands of dollars per month on a very lavish lifestyle. Nathan willfully failed to comply with his discovery obligations in the very divorce case that he initiated, which led to the court holding him in contempt of this court's order on our motion to compel his discovery. So that's some procedural history for you. On December 22nd, Nathan only produced a portion of his outstanding discovery responses. Now, in these responses, there were credit card statements which demonstrated that Nathan, this is recently in December, he then turned over stuff and boom, there's credit card statements that we're going to look at, that he had paid for and taken trips unrelated to the work for Fulton County's district office. Since Nathan filed for this divorce, it was him, he has taken trips to San Francisco and to Napa Valley. He's gone to Florida. He's even gone on Caribbean cruises. They enjoyed a trip to Belize, another to the country of Panama. And even just last month, they took a trip to Australia. This is crazy, man. No wonder they're handing out diversion offers to Sidney Powell. They're not working. The evidence is clear. How are they billing all of these hours? Okay, this could like seriously be fraud. If you went through and you corroborated these dates, like was he billing when he was on his trip to Australia? And what was he billing for? That's a lot of travel, man. You know, that's not Trump prosecution travel. Now, the evidence is clear that Fani was an intended travel partner for at least some of these trips, as indicated by the flights that he purchased for her to accompany him. I mean, it's money laundering, really. You know, she can't pay herself money to go on this stuff, so she hires her lover, pays him the money, he bills it as legal work, and they go on the trips. Now, here are true and accurate copies of credit card statements that shows the purchase of these plane tickets. Maybe Fani should be indicted for fraud. So here are some of the transactions. Let's take a look. This came from Nathan Wade's credit cards, Capital One Business. This was from April to May of 2023. And remember, Trump had not been indicted yet. Trump got indicted in August. So what are these two doing? Oh, he had to pay his bar dues. Ugh, hate having to pay those every year, hundreds of dollars. He went to Framebridge, whatever that is, $300 there. Then, oh, look at this. We have a Delta airline from Atlanta, Georgia, destination. Oh yeah, this one, origin, destination from Atlanta to San Francisco. SFO, San Francisco. Maybe they're going to Napa Valley. We don't know. But this is Nathan Wade's name, a Delta airline ticket, April 27th. Look who's right under that. Fani Willis. She's going to San Francisco too. Isn't that nice? Now, apparently they might have had a bug problem. Here was another flight. Oh, he's ordering flowers. I guess those flowers are probably not for his wife. Comcast cable bill comes out. Then they show up in Doubletree, Napa Valley. Isn't that beautiful? Now, do we have time? When were they coming home on this? We don't know. So lots of Ubers, probably still, right? They travel there. They meet with maybe Pencil Neck Schiff, whatever, who knows? Then they've got some Ubers and some wine just to ride out the trip. Here's some more. This one, some more Delta Airlines, Uber, Target, Rum Runners Freeport, Norwegian Sky, whatever that is, shopping at Kroger, going to Macy's. Here's some more stuff. Trips to Uber, Hyatt. Oh, a Norwegian cruise line. How much is that one? $3,000. Yeah, that's an expensive one. That's that Trump money, man. And they're staying at the Hyatt Regency in Aruba and all the Ubers. And so is there plane records for that one? Too funny. I can't even take it. All right. So look what they did. Hey, honey, what do you want to do? You want to go on a cruise? Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, I'm going to get 2 tickets. That one's $1,300. That one's $1,200. Couple tickets for this one. October 5th, Royal Caribbean Cruise. Royal Caribbean Cruise. Now this one, we got some airline, we got some tickets. We got 3 tickets here though. So who is this person? Clara Bowman. She's going, yeah, they're all flying. No, that's a separate location, I think. So this one's going from Miami to Dallas Fort Worth. What's IAH? So I think this person's traveling separately. I don't think this person's going on the cruise. So Bowman Clara's ending up in Miami, traveling around from IAH. What is IAH? IAH is Houston. Okay, so that's Bush Airport in Houston. So originating and then going. So this person's traveling around. Now this is Nathan Wade and this is Fani Willis, Houston. So Fani and Nathan look like they are getting on the cruises. And I don't know who this Clara Bowman is, but maybe an assistant, somebody else are just flying around. Okay, my alternate explanation is that Nathan, okay, one of these tickets is for Clara Bowman, who is another woman. I don't know who that is. Definitely not his wife. And then one of these tickets is for Nathan, right? Like that's maybe one was for him and one was for this Bowman person, but because she was also going to Miami, they were also taking their cruise from Miami, but I don't know. Oh, they stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. And look, yeah, here's even more airplane flights. Fort Worth, Texas, Nathan and Fani right there. Boom. October 13th. So you can see how those can line up. Here's another one, more tickets, Nathan and Fani all there. And so, man, they were just traveling around together, going on cruises. And here's the deposition. This is what they wanted. Deponent romantic relationship. They wanted videotaped with a court reporter. Sent over to Fani. Now, what is this? Your package has been delivered. Oh, we got a package delivered. FedEx shipment. Your package was delivered to Mrs. Fani Will. Oh, that's the service. That's Fani's office from the law firm saying you're being deposed. We sent that over also. This is our affidavit of service. So this guy tried to serve Fani. He showed up to her office. He said, I personally appeared. I served Miss Fani Willis with a depo by leaving documents with this person called Tia Green, who's the executive assistant to Fani. Fani ran out she's hiding in her closet, like no joke. And then they served her assistant. She's a black female, age 45, 5'9", 170 pounds. All right, so those are the documents. Now we got those credit card transactions there, and it sure looks like these two traveled to Napa Valley together and hopped on some cruises. Went on like some Norwegian stuff going on there, looking at some other big expenses. Bursar Operations. I don't know what that one is. That's a $7,000 expense though. That's a pretty serious one. Is that, I don't know what that is. Is that a cruise or something? Anyways, okay. So those are the documents, man. These two were just lounging it up on that good Trump money. So here we know, apparently they definitely purchased plane tickets for her. So here's where Jocelyn's team continues. They tell us. Now Jocelyn seeks to depose Fani. Why? We got to determine the details around this affair with Nathan. There appears to be no reasonable explanation for their travels other than a romantic relationship. Saying Miss Willis contends in error that the parties both citing in their divorce pleadings the no fault provision of irretrievably broken, that it means that Jocelyn's inquiry into his infidelity is impermissible. But that's mistaken. Sorry, Fani. In Georgia divorce proceedings, a party can amend a pleading all the way up until the entry of a pretrial order. And because we have no pretrial order here, we can amend this, which means we are going to. Furthermore, a party to a divorce is not required to allege adultery in the complaint to present evidence of the same. Now, although Jocelyn was unaware of a romantic relationship between Willis and Wade, the Court of Appeals has said that you can engage in discovery when there's evidence of adultery. So parties can obtain discovery, and that's what we're doing here. Now, contrary to Willis's, Fani's belief, Jocelyn is not utilizing this deposition to harass her, no. But instead, we're trying to seek pertinent information from Nathan's paramour regarding her relationship with Fani and to the extent of Fani's financial involvement in this case. These answers are relevant. We're talking about equitable division of the marital estate and the disposition of Wade's assets and the marital assets and her capacity to provide spousal support. But Willis mistakenly relies on the wrong law. Protective orders don't work that way. Miss Willis certainly would have unique personal knowledge of the romantic relationship that she was having with Nathan and the trip she took with him either before or after the divorce was filed. And so therefore her argument lacks merit. It's like, we know she was traveling with him. Clearly he bought tickets for it. So how can she explain that? That's material. Now, as for Fani's argument that the subpoena was defective, the subpoena, which came from and was sealed by the clerk of the court, was properly served by Georgia law, and a notice of the deposition was also filed with the court and served properly. It would be impossible to obtain Miss Willis's home address due to her position, meaning her address is shielded from public view, so normal techniques would not be able to identify it. The process server effectuated notorious service with Tia Green. She was hiding in her closet. It should be noted that after a previous attempt to serve Miss Willis at the county office, we already tried to get her. We couldn't get her the first time. Then we served her assistant, and Miss Green represented that she was authorized to accept service. We've looked at that affidavit. However, in an abundance of caution, also served a new subpoena upon Miss Willis with a statutory overnight service congruent with another part of the law. So we've served her multiple times with this. The service is valid. Her allegations otherwise are nonsense. In her motion, Fani has presented extensive and personal information about the Wade marriage, which was totally inappropriate, by the way. And I should have hit that harder. What she's trying to do is drag the other party's name through the mud, okay? And by the way, the first filings here did not do that. Like the first filings, like they revealed some information about Fani and Wade, but they were trying to hold back. Fani just came out and called her an adulterer. You started it first. So these are also including false allegations that she engaged in an affair in 2017. However, the evidence will demonstrate that Miss Joycelyn Wade did not have an affair. Jocelyn was experiencing a profound sense of disconnection in her marriage with Nathan, who had essentially ceased investing in their relationship following Nathan's own actual infidelity. Oh man. Jocelyn, we apologize for doubting you. We're sorry this is happening to you. We're on Team Jocelyn now. And so she got cheated on, and she was feeling lonely and isolated. And so she reconnected with an old friend through social media, but text messages were the sole extent of their contact. So Nathan and Jocelyn, they successfully worked through the issue, as evidenced by the fact that it was not until 4 years later that they filed for divorce. It's crucial to emphasize that Jocelyn never met this person that she was texting with, and she had no physical contact with him, and she certainly didn't go on any travel with him, like to Napa Valley. So Jocelyn and her lawyer intends to, among other things, examine Miss Willis's actions. We want to know what she knows about these allegations that she's made against Jocelyn. How did she get this, quote, information? Was that pillow talk from Nathan? I probably was. No, listen, baby, she cheated on me first. Our marriage is really on the rocks, like it's not even a thing. Yes, I'm coming over tonight. Yes, I'll pick up some Chinese food. No, my wife doesn't care. As well as regarding her own personal relationships with Jocelyn. And so he's telling her, you know, and Fani throws that in emotion she didn't have any real knowledge about. Wow. Now, allegations about their marriage contained in her motion raises the question of whether Miss Willis possesses equal intimate knowledge of any marital discord involving any of her other special prosecutors. Yeah, does she know anything about that white guy's marriage who she paid a lot less? Her public inquiry of, quote, why the one, seems to be met with a response that suggests because you, Miss Willis, are having an affair with him and not them. Yeah, we made that exact point as she was speaking there in that church. Well, did you sleep with them? Why not? I mean, maybe she did. You know, I don't know. We don't know if she slept with the white guy or the white woman. I don't know what's going on there. Sounds wild there in Atlanta. So it is regrettable that Miss Willis has filed such an inflammatory motion. She did. She was threatening them. She was smearing her name in it, which has left Jocelyn with no other choice than to respond forcefully and with supporting evidence in a case that is very personal in nature. This is going to get bloody. Perfect. Jocelyn's sole objective is to lead a peaceful life, and her counsel is committing to ensuring that she has adequate means to support herself and to defend herself in this litigation. If non-party Fani seeks protection, it appears the one that she needs protection from is herself. And so we ask this court, deny her emergency motion and allow us to depose her. Signed by Andrea Dyer Hastings, Georgia Barr, and others on behalf of Joycelyn Wade. Shedding the light on these flowers and Uber trips and Napa Valley Doubletree Resort extravaganzas and cruises and flying on Delta Airline, all exposed from Big Fani by Joycelyn Wade. And this is another YouTuber, my friends, who had an excellent take on this and can put it in an only a way she can. Hat tip on this one to Julie Kelly, who is explaining what this sounds like, calls it Housewives of Fulton County. Julie Kelly does amazing work, by the way. If you're not following her, you absolutely should be. And this comes from a woman called Tasha K. She's also on YouTube, and you can subscribe to her if you'd like to listen to more of this amazing content, which I would encourage you to do, because it's amazing. Here's what it sounds like, talking about Fani and Nathan. This is Unwind with Tasha K. And real quick, if you got children, put some earmuffs on or put them to bed quickly.
All that money you allocated tricking on a prosecutor, tricked his wife out of $1,400 a month alimony payments, and even took some of it back using the debit card out the same account that he put the money in from contracts he allegedly you for. Where's the justice for this black woman when she's saying I've been married to his ass for 26 years?
That's true.
Raised his children. He somehow found a way to get around the law to only pay me $700 every 2 weeks, and then he splits that with me? This is the one you getting up on a church podium here to stand beside?
Yes, that's her. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Women findeth men. Are you in church talking about, when I found this black man, you didn't find him.
He was married.
He's fucking you full way up. That's just what it is. And you didn't think was going to find out. But I'm just like, where's the justice for this black woman over here?
Oh, there isn't.
That helped to build up the very man that you are enjoying right now for the small price of $630,000 every year.
Boom! Wow.
So the state's money. Now, who paying that money?
Fulton.
We got questions.
Yeah, we got questions about it. Okay, so you can see this racist white male is a bigot and who is illegally targeting Fani for criticism. You know, she didn't even talk about the white guy either. You know, it's really ridiculous. Clearly a racist statement who is attacking Fani for her transgressions totally inappropriately. So shout out to Tasha K. She's over on YouTube. Sounds like a great opinion here. I'm sure there's a lot more goodness there. And thanks to Julie Kelly for the hat tip on where that came from. So it's bedlam out there, my friends. It's absolute bedlam out there in the Fulton County District. Big Fani, Jocelyn Wade. We're going to have motions to unseal all these records, see what's inside. We're going to have maybe a deposition of Fani Willis, and it is going to be a lot of fun to unpack. And so, my friends, wherever it is you're watching this, thanks for subscribing to our channel. Thanks for sharing it with a friend or family member. Thanks for inviting them over to our live stream. Thanks for checking out robertgovea.com so that you can read all of these PDFs and more. As we're going through the show, you might want to dive into these PDFs. We upload them with the red lines so you can go through them. You can also sign up for our daily newsletter there so that we can email you all of the segments to your inbox. And that way you can just forward those to everyone you've ever met. In your email context, send it to everyone. They love the forwards. Just keep it going nonstop. They'll thank you for it one day and we'll appreciate it. So that, my friends, is going to be it for us on the day. We'll see you back here on the next one.